What's going on, guys? I'm Dave, and if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about becoming a communications major, so I'm here to answer a lot of the biggest questions that you might have before you make that decision. Way back in 2006, I graduated with a communication degree from the University of Southern California, and since then I've worked at some pretty cool places, including Square, Fox, Rotten Tomatoes, and Google 3 times. Sometimes a social science major can get a bad rap from maybe your parents or some of your friends because it's generally seen as being an easier major compared to doing engineering or accounting, and in reality it probably is. A lot of people, including your parents and maybe one of your relatives, will say that you can't make good money and you can't get a real job with a communication degree. I'm here to put a lot of those fears to rest, but I'll also give you some insights into what it's actually like to have a communication degree and what your career might look like maybe 15 years later. You've got things to do and decisions to make, so let's jump right into this video. So first, when people say that you can't get a real job with a communication degree, they're absurdly wrong. Tons of people go into PR, social media, sales, marketing, HR. There are so many different things that people do with a communication degree. For me, I'm a UX writer, which basically means that I write a lot of the stuff that you see on popular websites and apps. So if you have an Android phone, I wrote a ton of the stuff that you see in settings. If you have Spectrum internet service, you've definitely read something that I've written. And right now I work for Square and write for Cash App. So if you use Cash App, I'm all up in your app somewhere. And if you didn't know that that was a job, or you've never heard of it, that's one of the cool things about having a communication degree, is that a lot of the jobs that you can get with this degree are maybe non-traditional or maybe even brand new. When I graduated, there was really no such thing as a social media manager, a YouTube creator, TikTok influencer, any of that stuff. It didn't exist. I was just writing news articles on AmericanIdol.com for a while, and I thought I would do something related to editorial for the rest of my working life. And I'll go into it a little bit more later in this video, but my working life has gone through a lot of twists and turns since then, and I actually think it's a lot of fun. While there are a bunch of traditional jobs that are looking for communication majors, if you do want to break into the tech industry, maybe work for one of the FANG companies or something like that, having a communication degree can be a great way to get a position in one of these companies without being an accountant, an engineer, or doing business development or something like that. A lot of people might find the flexibility of this degree to be a little bit terrifying, but I actually think it's a lot of fun. You're able to craft the story of your career and what you do with the jobs that you take, and that brings me to my next point. If you want to stand out, you might have to do it on your own. There are a lot of degrees like journalism, engineering, and accounting where there are jobs that literally have the name of the degree in them. As far as I know, there are very few jobs called communicator. It might be part of the job, but it's not the job. A lot of times new grads tell me that they just need someone to give them a chance, or they're having a hard time getting hired for a job that's in the direction of where they think they want to go. The reality is that it's generally not the job's responsibility to give you a chance, and it's often up to you to do it and prove that you can, especially when you have a communication degree. The good news is that it's pretty much never been easier to just make stuff on your own to show people what you're capable of doing. 15 years ago, when I graduated from school, you could do something like make a blog, a cool website, or maybe you get a video that goes viral in the early days of YouTube. Today, you can start a podcast, you can teach yourself to write and edit videos, you can run a hilarious meme account on Instagram that gets something like a few 100,000 followers. There are a ton of different ways that you can just use your phone to develop your skills and show people what you can do. And even though I'm very established in my career at this point, I still taught myself how to make YouTube videos a couple years ago, and it's something that employers always get a kick out of when I'm interviewing. And when you're interviewing for jobs, you not only have something to talk about, you're showing employers that you are a self-starter, especially for tech companies. A lot of recruiters and managers really respect when you go out of your way to just make something happen for yourself and show people what you can do. And the cool part is you'll probably learn a lot of things along the way, and it won't be something that you learned in a book. You learned it because you did it. For me, I won a nationwide blogging contest for Billboard magazine when I was 22 years old. I was an executive assistant at the time, so I scheduled meetings and picked up phones all day long. then went to a concert, wrote a blog post until about 2 in the morning, and I repeated that about every other day for a summer until I won that contest. Having that experience was something that I probably talked about for the first 5 years of my working career when I was interviewing, and people always thought it was pretty cool, and I'm still pretty proud of it to this day. It was something that I did that no one handed to me. I just did it. So if you're thinking of being a communication major, just know that sometimes things won't be handed to you, and you might have to do it on your own, but those can be very valuable things to show people when you're interviewing and trying to get that next job. If you're enjoying this video so far, please give it a like so more people can find it. Now back to the video. Next, some people will say that you can't make money with a communication degree, and that is insanely incorrect. I will admit that your starting salary might be lower, but your ceiling might be a lot higher than a lot of your friends. My first real job out of college, I was a recruiter in an HR department, and I was making $28,000 a year. And today, as a UX writer, while I work at a big tech company that pays more than your typical company, I make well into the six figures. I make more than a lot of software engineers, people who did nursing, people who are directors of finance. There's a very good chance that I make more than they do. And also, I didn't come from money. I'm the child of first-generation immigrants that didn't speak English when they came to the United States, and my dad actually died with a negative net worth, so I didn't come from money. This is just from having a communication degree and just working really hard. And today I get to write in English for products that are used by over 1 billion people around the world, and I became a self-made millionaire in my 30s. That's pretty cool. I have lots of friends that were also communication majors who are not even in C-level roles, and they're making well over $200,000 in various parts of the country, so it is definitely possible to make a good amount of money with this degree. You can become an expert at what you do and just stick to it. I have friends that have been doing PR since they graduated from school. They hung in the whole time, and now they're super successful 15 years in, and that's awesome. Or you can find a job that's in high demand, get pretty good at it, and just continue evolving and adapting and finding jobs along the way. That's kind of been more of my path. There are so many ways for you to make more money than what some average salary number in a book will tell you. You just might have a different path of getting there compared to your friends who might have a degree that has a more linear traditional career path. For example, I was a recruiter, an executive assistant, a product manager at a startup, a support content writer, and now I'm a UX writer. They all kind of go with each other, but I had to keep evolving and learning new skills along the way. To some people, my career makes no sense. To me, it makes perfect sense because I'm able to create a story around what my career is. And also, when people say that you won't use your major, trust me, you will. Communication is such a big part of technology, media, and so many different parts of our lives, from the ways that you'll build relationships on Slack, communicate on email, get to know people at work, the way that you present yourself with big office presentations and things like that. You will use your degree. Maybe it might be in ways that aren't what you thought, but you will use it. Sometimes people make fun of communication as a degree because it's easier, and a lot of athletes that have no intention of graduating choose it as their major, and who can blame them? And really, it's generally an easier major in the realm of college majors, but at the same time, I think that it's one of the majors that you're pretty much guaranteed to use. You might get into business, marketing, sales, or something else, but you will use your major in some way. And really, after a few years, your major starts to matter less and less because your experience matters more. So if you're still with me and you're thinking about becoming a communication major, here are a few questions that I might consider asking yourself. Are you willing to work hard and maybe differently to establish a career, even if you have to do a lot of it on your own? Do you enjoy learning and teaching yourself new skills? Do you generally keep up with trends, whether that's technology, media, products, or services? Are you generally self-motivated, and are you able to prove and show people what you know how to do? Of course, if you like this video or learned something new, please give it a like or share with that friend that's trying to decide what major they want to choose for college. And really, whatever you choose as your college major, I really hope that you enjoy your classes and ultimately your work as much as I do every day. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck choosing your major, even if you choose something else.